Good morning and welcome to Captain Morgan's War Games. Today I am doing my tournament review that I went to the weekend. First day I've had a chance to get on down and talk about it. I won one, drew one. The draw turned out to be a win, so I had to get that changed. I felt sorry for the player, so I had 2 wins, 3 losses in the end. Now let's go through it. Game 1 was against Grey Knights. 2 Night Wardens, the Dreadnought, Grand Master Knights, the Dreadnoughts, 3 Dark Talons, a Knight Castellan, and a couple Grey Knights squads. And then you go in the fridge, there's a drink.
No, I don't want a drink.
You sure? There's a Lucozade. You be careful and watch your roads, right? Sorry about that. Yeah, so that was his list. I got first turn. It was big guns never tire, but you could swap out the big guns bit for elites fast attack. Or Lord of War. He had a Lord of War, he had no heavies or anything else, and I had 3 heavies, 3 elites, so he was an advantage. Yeah. It was a tough, brutal game. I probably would try to get rid of him too quickly off the board, and that was my downfall. Ended up losing 17-23. The turning point was I had 2 lots of Zangors on that had tied his Knight units up in combat, and they were tied up. But they gave an Infinity Doubt, which allowed the Dark Talons to come over, blast my Zangors away, and then he was able just to, on the subsequent turns, to move the Knights over and score the points for those objectives at the end of the game, which gave him a 6-point swing and made it 23-17 to him. Had he not been out of the Gate of Infinity out, and I'd been able to stop that, he rolled 2 11s. So to do that, I would have think. I mean, had I not been aggressive, the Magnus might have still been on the board and been able to stop that. They're 1 or 2, they're different things. So, we'll see how it goes. It's so that was a loss. I went into the second game, and it happened to be resupply drop, and I can't remember, there was a maelstrom, so you were scoring points off your secondary, but it's the one where you draw the cards for every tactical, for every objective you hold. Now unfortunately he had berserkers and bits, and I deployed the objectives too aggressively, and he got to choose the deployment zone, and that hurt me. And he just kept on bringing. He had 2 lots of berserkers in. First lot came in, knocked me off the objective I was on, and I was holding 2 at that time. He knocked me off 1, that's left me 1, and I couldn't kill. I didn't. The first one I cooked was kill the Warlord, and the there was no way I was going to do that. It was in the back behind, Foxwall was behind it, tons of stuff, and I was never going to get to him. And he deployed well enough to stop me deep striking in behind him. So I was going to have to be patient on that one. I cleared them, cleared the berserkers off, got my unit on, so I was looking at drawing 2 cards next turn. On his turn, another set of berserkers came in, boom, wiped that unit off. So I had to re-wipe, and that was my continuous cycle. And so I wasn't drawing the objective cards to score while he was scoring quite freely and able to get the cards he needed, and it ended up 17 points to 5, which was a major win for him. Again, I could have been a little less aggressive in my deployment, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome of that game too much, because I just couldn't get a foothold on the objectives. I should maybe less spreading the objectives around and making him move and pulling him about might have worked a bit better, but that's something I learned. On to the third game. It ended in a draw, but I had to query it ended in a hit or win for him. I queried the results and the rule, his interpretations of rules. We looked it up, found that I was right, and characters had, in Ascension, have objectives secured over everything else, even if there's more models close to it. So he lost 2 points, but I failed to add the points I would have scored, extra points I would have scored for that on. So it ended in a draw, but technically it was a win for me, because and I didn't. When I realised that, I didn't want to. It was too late, and I don't think it would have been fair of me to go back to him and say, look, blah blah blah, you actually lost that game. It wouldn't have been fair. So it was a draw, but I know I won it, and that'll do for me. Fourth game was against Necrons. Now, it was probably my best match-up. I know Necrons inside out. I play my regular partner Dave. I play against his Necrons, and I play against Nick a lot. So he's Necrons. And before the game started, I pretty much knew I had the game in the bag. So yeah, I didn't have to. I still had to play well to get the win, but I was pretty confident I'd win that game, and as it is, I did, and I wiped him turn 4, and I was quite high up. Game 5 was against Ricky Robson. He was playing Eldar Wolfway. 3 fire prisms, the load of guardians, and some the hemlocks. I was probably too aggressive in this game, and that cost me the game. I charged Magnus into his Spirit Seer, thinking it was his Warlord. I got the wrong Spirit Seer, my fault, and killed him and killed a large blob of Guardians, but it left me open to a lot of Guardian fire, a lot of prison fire, and Magnus went turn 1. I did a lot of damage, and I was scoring heavily, but he wiped me. Turn 5 he wiped me, and no, turn 4 he wiped me, but I was 20 points up at the time, 20 points to 10-12, so I was on course for a victory. And we spoke afterwards, and he said, had they been a little less aggressive, I probably would have won the game. Charging Magnus straight up into his face, and that if I'd waited and been a bit more patient, I probably would have won the game. But I'll learn from those mistakes. I'm a bit disappointed because out of the 5 games, I had 2 wins. I know there was another 2 wins in that for me, which would have put me higher up the table. But the Army, and that's my fault. That's not the Army. But the Army wasn't bad. It performed as it should have. I didn't perform as I should have, and that's probably my biggest regret. But I've got the confrontation one coming up, which the Decimators won't be allowed in, but I've already got my replacements for them. I've got I'm going to put an Alpha Legion squad in and use a little bit of them with a little bit longer range shooting. No mortal wounds on them, but I don't think that matters, and that may be just buy me a little bit more time to do what I need, and then we'll see. The event was good, well run. Scenery could have been a bit bigger line that started blocking terrain in the middle. It was alright if you had if you had inventory figures. If you were slightly larger, it didn't do. But that would be my only criticism, but it's not a major criticism. They were a few more gaming mats they could do with, but it's a small club, so money's tight. They do what they can, and it was well run, enjoyable again, and I will be taking that list back again because I think I can win with that list, and I've just got to go away and learn how to be maybe less in your face. I think I was trying to win the game turn 1 and not playing the long game, and that cost me. But as I said, those things I learned from, and a thing of note, I went first every single game. I had my last 2 games, I lost the roll to go first, but in those last 2 games, both games I seized and went first, which was pretty cool. Not a game did I go second, which was good and enjoyable. And then I didn't even make a painting table, which I was surprised. I was expecting to be up for a painting award, but with that Army, but never mind. It's one of those things. I think Dominic Yates, my first opponent, I gave him my sportsmanship. He was probably the best of the bunch I played. The second guy, Andy Matthews, he was fun, and the game was absolutely fun. It was brutal. In fact, I had 4 brutal games, just killing stuff each side, and I loved that. I like that type of game sometimes, and it made for fun. I killed a knight. I played Grey Knights, which I never played before. Played Alpha Legion, Chaos Demon Soup, which I'd never put. And how do I play? So I knew what they brought to the table. It was just 3 of the 5 games were search and destroy table quarters, which absolutely kills if you can't get across and get into the big things. And your opponent's got more of the objectives in each quarter. But again, maybe that's sort of something to learn from. Maybe I won't have that in future where we get that table. The other table was Vanguard straight against the Necrons, which was nice, and my opponent was nice and deployed straight up on these lines, which gave me easy shots at lots of things. And the other one was Spearhead assault or frontline assault, Diablo, hammer and anvil. I didn't tell you what my Necron had. He had a couple of Cryptex, he had an Overlord, he had 2 slots, 20 warriors, a set of 10 immortals, he had 6 destroyers, 6 wraiths, a unit of scarabs, 2 annihilation barges, and first turn my decimators got rid of the destroyers and 2 of the wraiths. Magnus took one of the annihilation barges down to about 3 wounds. He then charged and took out both of those barges, and then from then on there my opponent resurrected his wraiths, took them and the scarabs into Magnus, and Magnus was able just to chew through them. And from that point it was just a case of being careful with what I had and making sure I didn't make any mistakes and give him a chance to get back into the game. I did apologise to him at the end. I said, look, I knew before we set up that the game was mine, and that his list against Necrons is probably one of the best matchups it could get. And he said he enjoyed himself anyway, which was fine. But it's always hard for me when I'm just seeing an opponent removing models and not really participating. Though he did get rid of a few of mine, so it wasn't as bad, because he still had some warriors he could shoot and things were dying, so on my side, which wasn't too bad. But he couldn't get rid of Magnus, and Magnus was left full health at the end, and he just come around. Once he'd finished off this wraiths and the thing, he was able to come stomping around and finish off the remaining warriors and units, and it was just about clearing up. Well, that's all for me today, and you remember, everybody knows the dice are loaded. Thank you for watching.